Greetings and salutations from London, England. It's the GG Pet Ice Challenge here. We've got the final best of 3 of the day. It's Group B elimination time, Halvor. We've got some more Scandinavians ready to go. GODSENT are coming on the server once again. Michael Ailey ready to go once more. It's 2016 all over again.
It's 2016 all over again. And I think, well, for their opponents, ENCE, they kind of wish it was 2018, or early stages of 2018.
A crushing ton of events it's been for ENCE. They're looking like one of the best teams. Mentioned either a major final in 2018, looking amazing. And all of a sudden, the wheels fall off. They change one player, and here we are. They barely got a decent win in a best of 3 in the last, 4 or 5 months. It's been a rough ride for them. So loser of this best of 3 will go home. We have to say, against Na'Vi, GODSENT actually looked pretty impressive. I wasn't expecting much at all, I'll be honest with you. I know the players are decent, but I wasn't sure what to really gauge from them in a big matchup against Na'Vi. But they looked like a solid team, considering some of the experience and pedigree players within their ranks. It's no surprise. I guess Maiden jumps off the page for us, especially yesterday's performance was remarkable, right? Maybe you can tell people a little bit more about him. Again,
Maiden being the newcomer into the team, probably the most unknown one as well. Picked up from Blue Jays, playing with some of the Yenko's.
It seems like a lot of Yanko's boys are starting to step up these days.
Really is. Formidable rifler. So as we got to see just multiple times versus Na'Vi yesterday, and definitely one of the bigger up-and-coming talents or prospects that you have in Europe, I think is fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely true. Lots of fantastic skill on the server going into this one. With ENCE's current form, or lack thereof, I should say. What are we thinking going forward from them? They said at the end of 2019 they're focusing on this year. We're in February now and still yet to really see anything from them. Do you feel like this project needs changes or just needs more time?
It's hard, right? Because if you go the direction of saying, well, yeah, they need to change things up, what do? I guess you kind of need an in-game leader.
Yeah, that would be the first protocol.
I guess there's a guy named Alexi B who's pretty adept at that.
Well, he won't be featured in this lineup right now. You can see it's actually Sunny coming back into the roster. You got Sergey, Sunny, Alu, Ariel, X7, names you're all very familiar with over the last couple of years. A Finnish Counter-Strike. It was Sunny, the recent addition from Mousesports. We thought he'd be bringing in much more firepower to the squad. And to be fair, they were already making deep runs at pretty much every tournament they went to. Like I said, major finals, getting top 8s left, right, and center. They weren't necessarily winning tournaments, but they're getting very deep every single time. It was such a risk to remove the in-game leader from that recipe, and it hasn't worked out for them. I think they know it. They know this isn't acceptable so far. I think they've looked like they're getting better, I suppose, but this tournament, with the caliber of teams here, you'd expect them to at least be winning a few maps.
Exactly. Again, in a normal world, if we turn the clock back a little bit, you'd probably expect teams like ENCE, Na'Vi, and Mousesports being in contention for the title, right? Not necessarily ENCE being in an elimination map on day 2.
Well, here come the vetoes, and yes, it is an elimination game, a big one at that. GODSENT with a lot to prove, and I guess ENCE as well here. GODSENT haven't had much showing at big European tournaments. ENCE have had a lot of invites, so those will start to be fleeting at this point, I think, at this stage. No one's really rating them. Need to prove themselves and show us what they've been working on. You can see the first picks coming through. It's going to be Nuke and Inferno to kick things off here. The pick of Nuke coming in from the Finns. Inferno, very standard pick coming from GODSENT. Normally sees that as number 3, but they've gone for a strong number 2 here. As we'll see Dust2 get banned as we move on. A couple of maps come through. We'll see whether Train is going to be the last. It has been thrown around a lot this tournament. It will be Overpass, a map we haven't seen too much of.
Yeah, veto actually makes a fair bit of sense from both sides. I suppose we didn't see the greatest of games from GODSENT necessarily versus Na'Vi on Nuke. So ENCE going into that is obviously one of the maps that they feel probably is a bit of a weakness for GODSENT, because normally if you're just looking at map statistics, you would expect ENCE to potentially pick up Dust2. It's been a relatively solid map for them as of late, but that's also one of the better maps for GODSENT that they have in their pool. So this is just trying to figure out where there's more of a distance between the two teams and their strengths.
Must be a lot of pressure on the inside right now. The roller coaster they've been on, being a relatively unknown group of players and having so much notoriety, especially in the org metas where they really shone. I want to see them kind of have a resurrection of sorts. They've still got strong players in their ranks. It still should be on paper a very good team. We're just not seeing it right now. And I think it is down to that in-game leader prospect is not being there at all. Is it Alu who's taken over the reins at this point?
Yeah, as far as I've understood. And hasn't necessarily taken the biggest of tolls on Alu's individual performances, but it seems like everyone else around him has fallen from pretty significant heights. Actually, Sunny, who was the recent player to join instead of Alexi B, he's been nowhere near what we expected out of him. I mean, if we look back to his 2018 with Mousesports, for instance, he was one of the top 20 players for that entire year, which is no small feat. Coming into ENCE, he's been a shadow of themselves. There's no really other way to put it. He's just not been able to have the same kind of impact, and you know that Sonny's the kind of guy who could swing rounds around for you in your team if he's really feeling it, but he just doesn't seem comfortable at all.
He really doesn't, and I can't put my finger on as to why. You think he made this move to feel more comfortable because he's speaking Finnish again, boys he knows, players he respects and knows it's a good team, but this hasn't worked out at all, and I think this is going to be another difficult matchup for them. GODSENT, certainly not a notorious team in terms of the rankings, but they are deep in the top 30 at this point and looking to improve and get more invites to tournaments. They really want to have a great showing at this tournament. They did go down to Na'Vi. It was a 2-1 game, remember. They took a map off them, had them on the ropes a few times there. This Devil Walker player, some of you older scholars might be aware of, used to don the Fnatic jersey as a player and a coach back in the day, now finds himself in Pronax's organization. He's currently the owner, I believe, and they're looking to show that the old boys can still do it. There are some older guys within this squad, that's for sure. Mark Lely and Crystal,
definitely
the names jump off the page. Yeah, but experience pays dividends, I would say. At points, it's not about brutal aim and fast reactions all the time. Hopefully these boys can show us how they can play in a different manner. As you can see, the coaches have a PC here as well. You get direct feed of all the information live and direct. And I guess in terms of prediction, are you leaning towards GODSENT or ENCE?
I mean, I haven't really had any reason to. There's nothing really ENCE have done that builds confidence and telling just, no, they're on the right path. Necessarily losing to OG in a 2-0 fashion as well. Not how you want to start out your tournament.
It's going to be detrimental to morale.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with the entire storyline behind it as well, with Alexi leading OG. And obviously what we saw from GODSENT yesterday, that was actually pretty damn impressive. Again, we talked about it time and time again in terms of what team looked better from a team perspective. That was GODSENT. They looked better than Na'Vi. They just have the same individual capabilities to really match with them. And right now you're going up against ENCE, who hasn't necessarily looking too strong from a team aspect or an individual aspect. I think it's a fair game for GODSENT to do this. I think the map pool is actually not too bad for them either. Even if we're going into Nuke, which didn't look too great for them yesterday versus Na'Vi, that was a case of Na'Vi salvaging a lot of rounds. Not necessarily off of tactical prowess or anything like that. It's because you had the likes of Simple, Electronic, and Boomich.
Well, historically speaking, ENCE are a very good Nuke team. They were one of the first to actually beat Astralis in that crazy run, right? The 33-0. They're one of the first team to do so. Obviously, with Alexi within the ranks, but it's a map they feel comfortable on. They can play it. They know what they're doing on it. But I just feel like there's a mental block right now. It feels like the team, they know they're not performing. There's a lot going on inside their own heads, and hopefully they can shake that off today, because I want to see a good performance here. This should be a barn burner of a game, just because the context of both teams, like a lot to prove here, especially with ENCE and GODSENT not really having many invites now, going from the Tibbity top of Counter-Strike a few years ago of a lot of these players, and now finding themselves not necessarily in the doldrums, but not what they used to be, right? Yeah, absolutely not. And we'll get into the 9th round here, but the looks of things, it's a lot of typing going on, suggests that they're not quite ready yet, but we're going to have the 9th round momentarily as the players decide how they're going to be entering this 9th round. There's Sonny on your screens there. It definitely hasn't been his year the last 6 months, I would say. It's been a rough one since his departure from Outsports. And you're right, he was like one of the most talked about players in CSGO at that point, when he was at the peak of his form over at Outsports. It was a very interesting move. Wanted to get back to Finland and start playing with a team that he felt like he could build up and represent Finland fully. Not sure it was the best move overall, but still time to recover and hopefully start showing signs of improvement. I'm sure they've been putting in the hard work and the time off.
Apparently they've had a 9-day boot camp leading up to this event as well. Had a quick chat with Twista in the elevator yesterday, and from what he was saying, again, he's probably not going to tell me if everything went completely completely right. So, but he felt pretty confident about them actually making steps in the right direction at the very least, which is good to hear. Yeah, no, you kind of have to hope for the best, because Counter-Strike as a whole is obviously more fun the better teams you have, just overall. And it was definitely like an exciting prospect to have a Finnish top team once more in CS. So it would be a bit of a shame to see them just kind of fade into the shadows if this kind of trend keeps going.
What was the justification, do you think, for them removing their in-game lead to bring the Sun? Was it just a fragging thing? Like Alexi B, like he's not known as the in-game lead that doesn't really perform. He's like one of the few that actually can keep up with his players and have great tactics as well. So what was the real reason behind that? Was it ever really known? Or
I think just the only thing that's been alluded to in interviews that they've done, whether it's with Alu or Twista, is the fact that Alu already did a fair share of tactics or coming up with decision making, mid game, that kind of stuff. So they felt like it wouldn't be as big of a nuisance to or that big of an issue to lose Alexi, because Alu would be able to jump straight into it. But we haven't really seen that being the case. So whatever their justification might have been, and it hasn't necessarily panned out to how they would have liked it to be, but obviously on paper, even when ENCE were doing as well as they were, you kind of felt it was just a matter of time before Sonny came back to
I
his
guess
roots.
you're right. Yeah, I understand that. And I guess, like I said, they weren't necessarily lifting trophies. They felt like it could get even better.
Yeah.
Just kind of backfired a little bit here. They didn't realize how influential the in-game leader could be in Counter-Strike.
There's a lot of teams have gone that route.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a blunder across the board with a few teams. I guess FaZe comes to mind the most. I would think after they kicked Karrigan, they were in that weird spiral for a long time.
Navi had that fun thing.
Navi
Obviously,
did well.
they got screwed over by the coach rule
Yes,
changes
that's
and everything.
right, yeah.
But then Zeus goes on to Gambit to win a major.
Yeah.
And everything. And yeah, it has a pretty significant impact.
That's a very good example. The fact he goes back to Navi after that as well, after winning a major, that's kind of sick.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see how, the fact that teams don't necessarily feel the same way as, they don't necessarily take off of other teams' experience with I guess, failed swaps and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they try to go the wrong route. Maybe they figured, like, well, we've figured it out, so this is going to work out for us.
OG went the other direction. They just got, like, 3 in-game leaders.
Yeah, now you can cut 2 freely. It's, like, not a problem.
There's not going to be an issue whatsoever. So that's the way to do it, I think, although their results haven't been resounding so far.
Oh.
What do you think about those guys in general? Like, we were talking earlier, like, that's got to be one of the biggest, like, teams formed up there with complexity in terms of, like, we've got a massive bag of money here. Let's just throw it at CSGO and see what happens.
Yeah.
Both teams not really kind of landing so far. How much time do you really give these sort of projects? Because CSGO is normally known for you'll keep a team together, 6 months? If it's not working out, you'll change a player. Can you really justify that when you've put 5 players randomly together from different nations and then hoping for the best and just giving them time? Like, what kind of expiry date do you put on that?
I think for OG's, in OG's scenario particularly, I think you have to give them at least 2 to 3 more months where they can actually have some tournaments to attend and actually get practice under them, because they pretty much announced the team and started playing together.
BTS, right?
Yeah, right before BTS, and obviously they go straight from BTS into a winter or Christmas holiday. So there hasn't necessarily been too much time or actually effective practice time for them, or definitely not a lot of effective tournament practice. So you kind of have to give them a bit of a chance so far. And I think the only thing that worries me when you have this kind of a project where you dump so much money into experienced and I guess already notable players is that the one newcomer, which in this case would be Montu, if things don't go too well, he might be the first one out the door, even though he's not necessarily at fault for the lack of results and everything, because you've sunk so much money into established names that it would feel
that's
like
kind of my
bad
point.
move to
It
get
feels
rid
like
of them, right?
it's like it's such a PR move to get all these huge names within the team.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work out. Like then you're removing one of them. Like it feels like you've painted yourself into a corner a little bit there. But yeah, like I hope these projects at least will shine some light onto whether they work or not. Complexity and OG both giving that a go. Both of them kind of struggling right now, but these things take time, and we'll see how they develop. For now, though. Here are GODSENT. You can see Michael Laley actually looking pretty decent against Navi. Like he's one of those players.
Up.
He like if he's going off, like you can notice it on the server. His aggressive AWP style still works out for him. But the problem is he's always had this consistency issue. If he's having a rough game, you can notice that quite dramatically as well.
Yeah.
He actually did a very good job against Navi. So hopefully we'll get to see that side of him today as we look at Maiden as well. Fantastic tournament for him so far. It wasn't really on my radar before this tournament, and that's what the great thing about seeing these new players come and perform in group stages especially. You can see what they're made of and what kind of characteristics they have. He seems he's a very aggressive and confident rifler who doesn't really miss many shots. There's Alu, a very famous sniper at this point, been around for a while. Still got it, still smashing down the CT defenses with his AWP, no problem whatsoever. We'll see if he can really keep up on Nuke. We mentioned it earlier, it's a difficult map to operate with the sniper, but he's a very capable rifler as well, doesn't need the AWP to get big numbers. Yeah,
absolutely. And we saw Sergey there on the screen as well. Obviously, one of the biggest talents that you have in all of Counter-Strike, but he's also had a bit of a dip in performance. I guess that's natural considering the fact that ENCE just as a team hasn't been working to the fullest. But you can never really count him out of a game. He's just that good, really, to turn things around or potentially win you out a game here and there on his own.
Well, that's enough fill, I think. We've had quite enough of that. We'll get straight into the action here. It's going to be the first map of Group B elimination here. Here are the odds provided by GG.bet. 1.54, it's going in favor of ENCE according to our bookmakers here. And we'll see whether this upper play from ENCE through towards Squeaky Door will work out for them. And here we go. Maiden. Going to be challenging with the USP towards outside. Julie's for Crystal. It's a little decoy there to go with him. And we'll see if this could be opening frags for Maiden. Apparently, a couple of them. Very convincing ones at that. That's the bomb going down as well. A couple of bullets fired, and they've got down towards lower. Did they get the bomb? They did. Yeah. So they did manage to grab it as they were descending. But still a 5-on-3. At this point, just get the bomb down. It's going to be your first priority. And that could be a reality because you can see them pushing towards this position here. Oh, that Glock's going to be punished. But Alu's bought enough space at least for the bomb to go down. At this stage, that's all they could really hope for.
Yeah. Maiden just makes that round really, really rough with getting 2 USP frags to right off the bat. Fuse coming in. Sunny's not really in a position to do anything about this, even if he does have a P250. He's just going to have to duck out. So successful start for GODSENT. Again, it was the CT side that they had the most issues on, if we look back to their Navi matchup yesterday. So if they can get off to a hot start here and maintain that, if I'm not mistaken, they were up 4-1 on Nuke before everything just kind of started going, going worse for wear.
Well, there it is. It's GODSENT looking very comfortable there with the upper approach down towards the vents. Maiden with a couple of key kills. Slowed them right down, and there will be no force in response. Sunny will begin himself. He always spends a bit more money than his teammates, I've noticed. And rightly so, I guess, is why he's brought in to have a bit more punch behind him. We'll see whether this is where he can get going. Doesn't look good for him, though, unfortunately. It's going to be Maiden to spray him down to the start of the round. That's the player that had the Kevlar, of course, and he spotted one towards Silo as well, just ducking and weaving now. Trying to use that brutal aim to his advantage as he gets another. That's X7 being dropped to the floor. They'll be buying up next round, so hoping to get at least 1 kill here. Not going to happen. Very convincing round from Maiden as they go 2-0 on Nuke. This is, in fact, the pick of ENCE, I should say, as well. So very early days, but always a little bit troublesome if it's your pick on the T side. Go down to 0, but they have the advantage here, I suppose. Here come the AK-47s. Out in a quad formation. We've got 1 kill over Sunny and an AUG for Michael Crystal on the MP9. Always a big round here. The CTs can pick this one up. They're going to be in a fantastic spot here, but it does lean towards ENCE.
We'll see what they come up with, if it's going to be a standardized yard take or not. And yeah, judging from the early nades, it's exactly that.
Well, the smoke's landed on the incendiaries there. Now, does that mean there's a gap here? Looks like it's absolutely fine.
Might have been a missed or poorly placed Molotov, or maybe ENCE have actually figured out a way to throw that smoke so it lands nicely even with a Molotov down.
Yeah, it could just come in such an angle to land on top of it, so there's no issue.
Could be, but GODSENT doesn't seem too phased about the fact that they've let someone down. I think it's going to be Sticko to be the first rotator downstairs. We saw this a lot versus Navi as well. Gets visual confirmation and going to duck out for the time being. That's
a good swing. It funnels him down towards Decon, right? So he's not going to get any kills from this, but it buys him 15 seconds or so for rotations to come through. They can't justify pushing that smoke. So when he spotted multiple players there, hasn't taken any damage. He's bought some time.
This is one of the really, honestly, really tough places to be in as a T. Yeah, it's great you've gotten down secret with a ton of people and everything, but you haven't found an opening. How do you actually get onto the bomb site? You know that every moment you spend waiting around here, the CTs are actually going to make rotations. Oh, that's a crisp shot. Well, hasn't started off well, friends.
It really hasn't, has it? But there's a chance here, but that could be thwarted momentarily. Oh, wow, you're done for. It's going to be a 3-on-1. X7 now at 25 seconds. Bomb on his back, sure. He could hightail it towards the upper bomb side, but there is an MP9 waiting in a pretty much prime position here. Julie's in reserve, and with 15 seconds, this has to be a very quick kill. Straight towards lower, plant behind the silo, can't really plant anywhere else, and hope for the best here. He's gone for the right-hand side, and unfortunately, that's going to be the end of him. It will be, you want to kill him ideally after the timer, but still, just get the job done at this point. Zen to close things out.
Pretty fun matchup for Zen, obviously, being the one Finn in GODSENT and one of the few Finns who actually plays on an international team. I mean, obviously, Sunny was the prime example when he was in Mouse Sports, but honestly, with how well Zen has been playing for GODSENT as well, there was rumors about him practicing with ENCE at some point, which was denied by ENCE, but we know how that usually goes.
It doesn't mean that's...
doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah, it could be the exact opposite. No one knows. But it's going to be AK-47s and a 3-0 start for GODSENT here. Scouts out for Sergey. And he's actually fallen off the blue bin at the start, but still will continue his approach, gets himself back up. No snipers on the CT side. They've actually relinquished control of outside here. Just focusing towards the bomb sites, knowing the money's going to be low. You don't want to be anywhere near those Desert Eagle crosshairs. So we have Zen patrolling Secret with the AK-47 very effectively, apparently. Good grenade to follow things up as well. Doesn't do too much damage, but Incendiary will push them back significantly. Nice little flash over as well. Just going to be checking out Silo and the close proximity.
I like the fact that he's not getting too aggressive on this either.
No need to, right?
It's like it's tempting to get the eco frags, but you don't want to risk it completely. And he does go up once he knows that he has teammates lined up to actually respond if anything goes poorly. So yeah, just a single player loss for GODSENT here to start us off.
4-0 ENCE. Haven't put their best foot forward as of yet. They've had some ropey buys into this one, but they do have a full array of AK-47s here, 5 across the board, and we'll get into the next round here. It's going to be a big one. We'll see if there's anything that can be done on the CT side. Not really much in terms of aggression you can present, but you can mix positions up. You can send an extra player towards outside of the rifle. Obviously, you can push a bit of aggression towards ramp as well. If you want to get the AWP out, you can start moving that around. But Crystal, for now, trying to get the money as strong as possible. I like it on Nuke. It's a very versatile map in terms of weaponry. Dualies and an MP9 setup into this first big gun round. Oh, Alu. That's a solo player I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
There's no flash, there's no teammates
nothing
with him. It's
I
just
guess
straight up drop.
You got Aerial down into Secret, I suppose,
Yeah.
if you want to look at the bright side, but it's not always sunny in ENCE.
Apparently not. Well, that's a frag pulled back at least. We are going to see Sticker removed from the lower area. The problem is he can't do much of it just yet. X7 has the bomb. And it's going to be a 4 versus 3 for now.
Well, see what comes of it. They're still going to have to make their cross down into Secret. It seems like they will be able to do so, as GODSENT have been aggressive in through lobby, but they should get a pretty fair amount of information as to what's going on and actually have pretty good rotation paths as well.
Yeah, there's no real utility left on the T side now. They've got a couple of flashes, and they haven't got the bomb down yet. That doesn't bode well. CT still coming in with smokes, flashes themselves. They've obviously got kits here. Good plant coming through, but the next couple of frags really count. Aerial to shine bright, as he'll take 2 down. It actually gives him the advantage here. Great shots coming through, finally. On the T side here, damage inflicted from Zen with the M4, but it's still his teammate with just the MP9. He'll smoke off towards window and see if there's anything that Crystal can do. Apparently quite a lot as he brings out the Dualies at this point. Has to deploy, is it a smoke or a flash? We'll see, and he's actually given himself a bit of space there, but surely the AK will take him down eventually. Actually a 2 versus 1 defuse coming in, and it goes down in favor of GODSENT. The MP9 coming out on top. 2 kills with Zen, 2 for Crystal, and they actually recovered the AK-47s as well. After those 2 kills from Aerial, I didn't think they stood a chance.
No, absolutely not. I think the one upside they had was ENCE had 1 player trapped behind the silo after planting the bomb, and Crystal coming that late in on the rotation.
Yeah.
Makes it a bit awkward. The fact that he finds the first player playing close to, I think that was Aerial, playing close to the ramp, that really opens things up for them and forces the 2 remaining ENCE players to actually make some moves. GODSENT looking pretty damn sharp here, not dropping the ball like we saw versus Na'Vi. They were starting off well on their CT side versus Na'Vi as well. There was just that one round towards ramp where they were trading back and forth, got a little bit overzealous. And then things started slipping out of their hands. So far, so good, though. That's a failed Molotov.
Yeah, allows Zen to stay in position here.
This is such a hard angle to clear as well. You could potentially set up with a pop flash, but they need to get their move on if they want to have the cover of the smokes. That's not going to be the case either, so golden opportunity here for Zen to start GODSENT out from the right foot.
Molotov going deep in the steps. That won't dissuade him from his position at all. If anything, it might increase his chances here. There it is, the double kill with the AK, the follow-up incendiary towards T-Red as well. He just wants to get the hell out of there if possible now. Just drop down. Doesn't need to do anything else, and he's done exactly that. That's the play. If he pushes a bit further and goes down, those kills will mean nothing but less, certainly. Keeping a 5-on-3 advantage, running the clock down and just pushing them into another position. That's what it's all about here. Don't want to get carried away. Sure, you're up 5-0, but still want to make sure you keep every round as clean as possible here. Sticko doesn't need to overcommit. 1 kill, not even required.
Bail out.
Yeah, could just bail out already. And does a bit more damage, just going to fall back here. That's enough. 30 seconds on the clock, still a 5-on-3.
Yeah, that's one of the things GODSENT were really good about. Even if they were losing rounds to Na'Vi on their CT side of Nuke as well, they never really overextended too much.
That's a go for this now.
Maiden's in a really good spot though. Even wins out that duel with Alu.
Yeah, it looked like he was outpositioned there. But apparently not. Still gets 2 frags towards the end. 6-0 now for GODSENT. On Nuke, it can be misleading. Just 3 or 4 rounds is enough on a T side. Enough being the operative word is not ideal. But as soon as that Molotov comes down, he knows he's got a chance to start transitioning towards Secret. The double spray down the AK and the M4 apparently as we get into round number 7 here. Money is not going to be ideal. Maximum loss bonus only get you so far on the T side. You need bomb plants to keep you going, and this is partial buy territory.
Maiden already up to 10 kills, so he's continuing his good form from yesterday. It's obviously going to be needed for GODSENT as well to keep this going. And I'm not really sure what we can expect of them. Again, from a strategical point of view, they were never razzle-dazzle when you look back at the Alexi lineup either. They were just solid at everything.
Yeah.
But now even, it doesn't seem like they have too many contingencies plans. I mean, we see them get stuck outside in yard in the previous round. They mess up a Molotov. They wait it out. All of a sudden, they don't have the cover of smokes anymore, and they still kind of want to commit towards Secret. It's a bit of a weird one.
There's the Molotov towards the hut. We are going to see ENCE with Deagles, PD50s, CZs. And the first kill going against them. Difficult to get into this one, but there's a reply at least. Zen doesn't look like he's slowing down. He'll be getting himself in towards Squeaky, but you can see the crosshair placement of the TZ. They are aware of that prospect with the deep smoke coming in.
Yeah. This is a move that's on borrowed time. He should probably dip out before the smoke fades completely, but decides to stick. Speaking of sticking, Sticko's going to have to bail out from ramp. He can't really hold that. Michael Ellis not made too much of a rotation, and this is going to be really tough for ENCE to really get anywhere with. Galila, make sure he doesn't get caught out. Lumps a nade down. And did that crawl up?
Somehow, yeah, it looked like it didn't even go down the ladder at all.
Right,
But
so
it would have done negligible damage anyway, I think. Nice work from Zen. Continues to look like a bit of a beast. I say that.
We saw Electronic fiddle around with Molotovs yesterday.
Yeah, just bail out now, pull the cord. That's actually kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Done some damage there. And we'll see them head towards lower. Sticko knows it. He'll be tested.
Yeah. It's all about not getting too crazy. Just take safe angles. Still a good job from Ariel to find a frag. It's still going to be really tough to get a bomb plant down, though. Yeah, and Zen at the right place at the right time yet again. Some fin-on-fin action. And he mops up Alu as well. So 3K for Zen. He's sitting at 13K as well. Look at the money on the side of GODSENT. You have to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, it's looking fantastic in that respect. They're finding all the kills, they're finding clean rounds. We said they were a well-rounded unit. They looked like a decent squad. Like, it might sound strange to say after losing to Na'Vi, we thought they were the better team, that being the most important word of that sentence. Not necessarily the best players, but overall in terms of preparation and just the way they were maneuvering as a squad, like, they looked better. And right now you can see that the hard work shining. 7-0 up against ENCE. I wouldn't say necessarily got some of the favorites coming to this one, but ENCE certainly have their troubles right now. And this is not looking like it's going to get any better. Remember, this is their map pick, Alvor. This is where they want to be. As you mentioned, coming into this, like, historically, Nuke is a very good map for them. Like, I think it's huge scalps in the last year on this one. But quite flat right now. At least a good start here, run up raid. They're going to take Maiden at the very start. That was courtesy of Sergey. Towards that hub position, trying to get a bit aggressive there at the start. It's Crystal. Plugs the holes. Jumps down to the bomb side floor and watches the hut himself. Ariel actually has made it to warehouse here. It's the best chance we've had for a rounder ENCE here in a while.
Yeah. Only issue, obviously, still not anywhere near a bomb site. We'll see what kind of maneuvers they have in store. Spots up Michaelilla, so alerted to the potential threat. And still Zen just creeping around the corner. Is going to find Alu once again. Molotov's off, so make sure that Ariel can't aggress on him. So advantage gone for now for ENCE. Crystal in a position where he should be able to get one.
Surely this is where it all works out for them, but Zen's still alive. He hits that! There's a chance it all falls apart, and of course it connects. It's the AK-47 looking devastating from the main entrance there. ENCE, that's as good a chance they're going to get to pick up around opening picks. Good coordination, nice timings, but eluded by the brutal aim and precision there of Zen and his AK-47. He's got a boatload of kills at this point. Round 8 coming in, and once more, however, they didn't get the bomb planted. So their CZs, their UMPs, PD-50s, this is a nightmare on the map pick. Like this, you're going into Inferno next, sure, it's a middle ground for most teams, but it's a similar in the way it plays in terms of map control and sticking together, executing, and the way it looks right now, this is going to be a rough one for ENCE.
It feels like Inferno is a lot of the time a map that goes the way of the better team, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like it needs coordination. You can't just jump in there and rely on your individuals. Sticko, he needs to get the hell out of dodge right now. He knows it. Bouncing around, taking skulls with him apparently. Still wants a bit more out of this one. Outstays his welcome somewhat there, but didn't really have much to work with. Well, does Sticko to a 4 versus 3. Suspicions towards the secret position here. Maiden will confirm it's clear, but that might be false information here. There is a player on the other side of the aerial. Low HP. One bullet anywhere in his general direction would do it, but unfortunately challenges at about an inch distance, and he will go down to the CZ. This could actually fall apart, you know. You can see Ariel very worried about the fact he could go down any second here. Crystal finally takes him down, but he's bought some time. They'll still focus towards lower, both players there. Bomb on the back of Sergey here. They've got an AK, a UMP, 40 seconds on the clock.
Are they actually going to try to venture up here? Well, right now, Sergey has made his way out onto the bomb site. Aldo just holding for a rotation. That's going to be successful as well. 2v2. Even wins out the duel versus Crystal. Crystal had him dead to right. Doesn't even take damage. It's all on Michaelilla. Best chance ENCE have had all game to get on the board. Still a Molotov in hand as well for Michaelilla here, so it could close out one of the entry points. He needs to get a move on. 20 seconds left on the bomb.
Let's see what he can do. Doesn't look fantastic for Michaelilla. All the real option he has is going to be full defuse, I suppose, without it's been eradicated now. Just trying to take some players down with him. You can see it's getting a little bit hot under the collar. He's trying to take anyone he can at this point. He probably goes down regardless at this stage. We'll see if he can get away from the blast. Just about there, so he's fine. So Alu will be finding their first round on the board with 3 kills in the round, and it didn't actually look too promising for them. Remember, they only came in with 1 rifle there. So back to it. They are going to reposition, work out how they're going to approach round number 10 here. There's still plenty of money on the CT side, of course. Maybe even see the AWP at this stage. Not quite. Like we said, you don't need it necessarily. Michaelilli's just going to be happy with the AUG.
We've seen a fair few times actually now from GODSENT that they decide to forego necessarily holding yard. Might be due to the slow tempo from ENCE, might be due to the fact that they're doing a whole lot of smoke walls, but they send Michaelilla towards ramp and Sticko downstairs immediately. The lineup here, not going to be as fruitful as you might have expected for Crystal.
Apparently not. Lots of damage inflicted, however, and Alu is removed from the equation as well. That's a big kill. Zen finally out-aimed, this time by X7. As the grenade connects. 3 on 2 now, still a small chance for ENCE here as Sunny and X7 made their way towards ramp. They buy some time with the Molotov and will descend towards the lower bomb site.
Well, Sticko's already downstairs and could prove to be a bit of an issue. Molotov doesn't go as deep as they might have liked, and that's going to give Sticko the opportunity to not defuse the bomb, but deny it at the very least, and also sorts out the last hindrance of X7.
Good work from Sticko.
Yeah.
That's how you play ramp. You get the information, you let them have it if you have to. Don't give away any kills, deny the plants, hold them off. That's all you have to do. It's not
rocket science.
It's not a superstar position. It's not the most fun. It's if you die once, everyone's gonna be looking at you like, "What? You went down? What the hell?" But it's a very important one. Like,
Absolutely.
You have to be very disciplined and
it's
not
a very
go for flags.
thankless position.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the most ideal. But there it is. Bouncing back, GODSENT bring the scoreline to 9-1 here. And our final best of 3 of the evening. Remember, another elimination game on the cards. Investment here from Alu brings out the AWPs. Like, hold my beer, boys. I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands. See what I can do with the old green stick here. We'll be making our way towards outside.
How far does he actually dare to move, though, like this?
Yeah, this is such an individual play. Like, there's no smoke behind it. There's no flashes. It's just like, Alu, get an AWP. See what you can do outside.
Please do something for us.
There is a player. Is that Aircon?
I think it is.
It must be Michaelilla. It is the...
Oh, yeah, spotted.
Org, yes.
Michaelilla might not go away from that angle, though, because he's expecting this to be an eco.
Yeah, you're dead on. So that's a nice little play from Alu. Preempts that and gets him an opening pick. Michaelilla, a sitting duck. And we'll see X7 pressure towards the ramp room. Sticko knows he can't necessarily just drop down with nothing this time. In a 5-on-4, wants to be a little bit more deadly as he deploys a flash. Good grenade, I have to say. Still happy to stay in the ramp room, but here comes Alu behind him. No one watching the position. The first couple of mistakes being made here from GODSENT.
Yeah, that was a bit sloppy. They have to realize that that's a chance, an option for ENCE, considering the fact that they lost Michaelilla, but maybe they just didn't think Alu was going to be brazen enough to attempt it. Bomb's going to go down. Solid nade once again. Now the late lurk from Sergey is going to prove to be very, very successful. 2v5. GODSENT right now don't have the money really to try to disturb ENCE, and this is a weird one. Like basically the two worst buys that ENCE have had throughout this half has been the ones where they've actually picked up rounds.
Yeah, all 5 players survive here, no problem whatsoever. And it's the round they bring in pistols and an AWP. Alu taking matters into his own hands, actually gets the first 2 opening kills, looks towards the aircon unit, nails the shot, walks into ramp, and quite literally helps himself to the second frag. Sticko was none the wiser. I guess he assumed his teammates would be plugging those holes, but they lapse in concentration, and things fall apart. They do save 2 M4s. I'll take a pause here. Chance for Devilwalk to get stuck in. Now, do they need an AWP outside, perhaps? They've got Sticko, can drop one. Maybe give it to Michael with the rivals they've got here to see where we can just shut down Alu helping himself towards outside like that.
Perhaps. I think I would lean towards having Sticko drop a rifle for Michaelilla, and you can still play around with your setups. You can still play through secret. You don't necessarily have to take the head-on fight with Alu on the AWP, because that's been proven to be pretty damn fruitful for you so far. It hasn't necessarily been put to the test of going up against an AWP too many times, but not necessarily anything against it. But they're going to opt for the AWP. We'll see if Michaelilla actually swaps out and holds that yard area pretty solidly. Versus Navi, he didn't really get too many opportunities to do a whole lot. Again, if you do the basic smokes and nades, everything out in yard, you're good for 1 shot, as you've said, and then you have to reposition.
Well, the will be out, and Michael quiet game from him so far, but this is his signature weapon, but he's up against one of the greats. Alu, also with the sniper outside, and it's going to be Maiden. He's going to come help out towards outside as well here, so he'll be there with the rifle. Michael just behind CT boxes there with the sniper. Maiden doesn't hear any footsteps, no sound cues, just going to be falling back here as the smoke goes down. So, much slower approach here, and starting to wake up. Couple of rounds found in the last 3, 9, 8-0 down. See whether they can start to find their footing here. They haven't broken the economy just yet of GODSENT, but this round would do it. Crystal back on the MP9.
Yeah, Crystal is going to be the one to jump on the grenade whenever somebody needs better weaponry in these kind of scenarios, selfless as he is. Ariel, once again, being the man leading the charge out towards the yard. Mate's gotten back into the aggressive position behind T-Red. Remains to be seen if this is actually going to be cleared by ENCE or not. Yeah, and he's going to get an easy kill here, and he's also going to get notification that there's nobody else around. So whatever pressure ENCE hoped to put on GODSENT here from Secret Steps is not going to be in play. Now, back to putting pressure on Sticko and Michaelilla towards ramp, it seems. Or maybe it's all a ruse.
Well then, opening frag found. Maiden to find it. Michaelele delivering damage through the smoke as well. We'll see whether this is going to be a successful round for GODSENT. Michaelele actually waiting on the site, and Sticko doing all the work for them towards the end there. Frantic round, but one GODSENT welcome as they keep 3 players up there. They've got a double AWP set up, as we mentioned. It is viable on Nuke, especially if you've got Sticko, who plays ramp right now. Just got to mix things up. He's been using a rifle there pretty much every round and playing very standard positions. This isn't a massive mix-up. That's if he doesn't play the AWP. I assume he will, considering he's a ramp player. I know he can AWP as well. Yeah. It would make the most sense. It's pretty much the only other viable position he can use it is ramp. So that's a really nice adjustment, I think. At the tail end of this half, they've got used to the idea of a single rifle player there. Just drop the AWP in. I think that's a really nice adjustment.
X7 with the P90, yeah.
Don't see that too often. They're going ramp as well. Collateral potential here, or nothing at all, as it will drop down. Rotation's coming through.
Don't get too greedy.
To be fair, it wasn't too bad. It looked like he was taking more damage than that, but only that's 82. There's Michaelele. Very convincing shot towards Sergey. Was never going to miss that one. Looking for the wall bangs here. Anyone in the tight corner. Sticko, I don't like this one.
Yeah,
I won't lie to you.
I was about to give GODSENT credit for not getting too aggressive. It's a similar round that they kind of slipped up on versus Na'Vi. Sicko does.
Yeah, the money's not great either, and you've got a double AWP set up here. I guess at this point, it's not a huge deal if you have the double AWP set up, so Sticker's happy to challenge a little bit. Nice shot from him towards X7. This will be smashing the money to smithereens as well for ENCE. Really at a difficult moment in the game, and Sticko, he'll go down here, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, you don't need a double AWP set up on the CT side of Nuke. So Sunny, this would have to be something miraculous here. This is just not a position you check, though.
Yeah.
And he'll just be suggesting he's going towards low up, and he's been spotted on the retreat. Zen, he can afford to sacrifice. He's almost made enough to just run through it's the Molotov there, but still, it will be a clean finish, and 11-2 money. It's one of those positions you might as well buy. You need these last 2 rounds. There's enough there to get 4 rifles out, maybe 3. You need these last 2 rounds. You just have to buy.
Oh, you definitely do. And you could see as well that GODSENT felt that, yeah, no, it's fine with double ops for one round. We'll give it a go, but Zen opting not to pick it up for the upcoming one. So back to a single op setup for GODSENT, but pretty much everything they've tried to do so far has been working out pretty nicely. But that said, it's been kind of the wonky buys that's been working out for ENCE here, and it's a wonky buy at hand. Maiden drops down early, and actually the aggression coming in towards main is going to catch them off guard here. A little in place though. Oh, they should have heard one dropping down. Right now, I'm not really sure what the end game here is for ENCE. They had some people coming out of hut, one dropping down vents, some staying outside of main. Sunny did have the bomb, so maybe they're just hoping for confusion in the ranks, but it hasn't really amounted to anything as well. And Sunny didn't really jump on the opportunity to potentially get a bomb plant down lower either. Now he's got Alu by control room. See if he can actually find an opening or not. But there's no reason for GODSENT to really extend themselves at this point. It's perfectly fine to let ENCE have a bomb plant. Doesn't really do all that much in the grand scope of things.
Yeah, they'll be fine up whatever happens next round. It'll give them a little bit more bites going forward, but this round's still possible for them. It's Alu who gives them a fighting chance here. Sunny has got the AWP. Maybe hits a shot here, which he does. There's a chance now, as he can actually get another. He'll be stuck towards the ramp for now. Defuse not coming in just yet. They've got smokes available, but headshots are plenty from Sunny, as now Alu looks like he's going to close things out, but it's going to be Sunny there stealing the round away. Absolutely true that they needed these last 2 rounds. They went with everything they had. Desert Eagles pretty much was all that was available, but still they make it work as we finish things off with a double AWP setup here apparently. 11-3, GODSENT, that's the round we were waiting for. They seem to give up one of those each game.
Yeah.
And there it is. And to be fair, that's a Sunny just popping off. Can't do much about that. He gets the AWP. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
Yeah, at the very least they do it at a late stage in the half if you're GODSENT, so there's not too many rounds to have slip out of your hands at this stage. Maiden actually being the one to pick up the AWP here for the final round, together with Mikey Lella. But yeah, that's 3 for 3 with ENCE, winning out rounds where they definitely don't have an ideal buy. Well, I guess we'll see if things go back to normality and they drop the ball once more here, once they were actually fully kitted out.
Well then, final round. And a good chance of 11-4 coming through here. 4 rounds, it's serviceable. You can make that work. But the 2 AWPs, all positioned towards ramp, as you can see. Maiden will have his actually beneath heaven right now, I believe.
Yeah, rotating back and forth between inner and just peering out towards yard.
So a minute remaining, still with the majority of the utility, actually with 5 smokes in hand here. It's not a very execution-based map, but we'll see whether this works out for them. The 5-7 sneaks into position, but this is by design. They know there's a possibility of this, so this will be pre-fires into spot. 5-7 can still do some damage here. We'll see if Zen can continue his very strong form he's shown so far. He spots him coming out, but he doesn't connect straight away. Couple of kills for Sticko, though. Where's that from? That's actually in the vent. The Mag 7 causing so much damage here, but Alu and Sergey are answering back. The 5-7, he knows it's the AWP. When's the swing coming through? It's pistol-on-pistol action here. Crystal coming out on top. He has done so well with the lesser weapons in this particular half here, and they got the round stolen away from them last, but this is looking much better. The 5-7 shotgun combo will find a 12-3 successful half there for GODSENT. ENCE are on the ropes, Alvor.
Yeah, very much so, and this is their map pick. This is not how it's meant to go.
It's really not, is it? Like they don't look like they're playing with much conviction. The 2 rounds they did pick up, right? Like one of those were pistols, and then at Alu AWP they had another eco victory as well.
Yeah.
So it's like the looser rounds where there's not much of a game plan. Sure, they can definitely find a few kills, but that is not going to be filling you with confidence going into that second half. At least you got 3 on the board. I guess I can say that much. It wasn't looking good. But still, trust me, this can turn on its head very quickly. Here are the odds from GG.bet. Of course, GODSENT are the favorites. These are live odds as we go on into the map. If you lose a pistol here and your end, they've got 2 defuse kits, just to know that. I guess on a map like Nuke, they might have some sort of upper and lower setup, but you don't really see that too often.
Yeah. Maybe it's off of the utility that they want to play aggressive in some way, shape, or form. GODSENT, though, going to get real aggressive, and it seems like that's been very easily read from ENCE's side.
Okay.
Bit of a slaughter, 3-man stack on ramp.
Yeah, bit of a read there. Maybe an anti-strat coming through. A lot of teams do focus towards ramp on these T-pistols.
Yeah.
That's the strat I'm always calling when I play as well. I see every other team doing that. Seems to at least get you a bomb plan most of the time, but I guess perhaps not if they get you a 3-man stack on the other side there.
Yeah.
See the purchases coming through. And the MP9 will be brought out in full force in the hands of Sergey. UMPs around him for masses, 1 M4 for Aerial, and a force buy from GODSENT here. The MAC-10's coming through, as we'll see. A giveaway is going live. Exclamation mark Maincast. Get it going. Spam the chat as we go for the upper rush here. We'll see if GODSENT can answer back. It's the MAC-10's coming through, but it's the Sunny FAMAS that's holding them from the bomb site for now. But Zen, this is a brutal round. It's now gone to a 2 versus 2. X7 from the lobby doing a little bit of damage there through the smoke, but they actually have the weapon advantage now with the M4. A player coming up towards the vents. It looked like he might time this well, but not quite. Zen will bring them into a 2 versus 1 position, and bullets running out here, but still has enough to close things out. It will be GODSENT winning in round number 2 with the upper rush. A few flashbangs, a few MAC-10s, get stuck in. Let's keep throwing numbers at the upper bomb site. Eventually he'll break through. FAMAS will only have 25 bullets in the clip. And there we have it. An upper rush of MAC-10s is what gets them back in the game.
That was short-lived hope for ENCE, it feels like.
Yeah, they will have to force buy back themselves now. We'll see whether that works out for them, but yeah, probably not. We'll see. It's going to be Deagle, CZ, and a Scout will take a bit of a disaster to give this one up, but there's always a chance that players like Sunny, Ali will be able to find some damage with the Scouts and Deagles.
Now then. GODSENT, again, we've given them credit for playing out most of their rounds in a pretty methodical fashion. Not necessarily having people just stray off on solo missions and whatnot, which is obviously pretty damn beneficial against these types of buys. Things going out. Quick push in towards main here. There's not really a whole lot of resistance to be met just yet from ENCE. That's a 3-man peak.
Yeah, that's a rough one. They're fighting back at least. This isn't a foregone conclusion. We all see actually a man advantage, but the HP is so low.
Yeah.
They can't really swing on these positions. They're trying to back up the play on the site. I think that's Sergey who's low right now. If he goes down quickly, that's going to be it. But here we go, a chance. As Sticko should be done for here. We will see. As we'll see the Scout for Alu, with just 7 points of health. Currently positioned towards another position. Lovely shot to close things out there. They're still alive and kicking for now. As GODSENT give the round up, that would have been it. If they win that round, there was no chance for ENCE. But they managed to win that, and will there be a force buy coming back in their way? I would say probably yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting at 1,800, so they're not going to have a solid buy if they were to just do a full eco here. So, yeah, it makes sense for them to invest a little bit. Sergey just being the savior there on that inner bomb site, finding 2 kills as GODSENT get a pretty free entrance in towards upper bomb site through main. At that point, you kind of expect them to do pretty well for themselves. This force buy, though, not the worst one either. Michael actually gets dropped pretty quickly. So that's a Scout.
Here we go. This is what they needed, is to find a few rounds, break the economy down. It's a good start here. Sticko, very brave through the smoke. Does actually yield a frag, but they've taken a lot of damage en route. So, just going to commit towards lower, but, oh, I thought that was guaranteed to be a frag there. Alu lines them up. They can just fall back with this one. We'll see whether they want to fully commit. 2 players either side. Alu, nice movements here, but had to connect that shot quickly. He might be done for. Crystal will find him. 3 versus 4. Aerial, he's low as well. He can't necessarily deny this plant. Maybe this AK spray can. Sunny doing absolutely everything he can. A bit of a stalemate here, Alvor. No one wanted to commit to the plant. Smoke's dissipating. Aerial low, can't necessarily swing for the double doors. Here comes the plant. Flashbang for his teammates. Is this where the CTs will come through? It's actually a fake plant here, and Aerial gets the timings right. Sunny will back him up. And now the round in their favor. 3 versus 2, so plenty of time here. And a missed shot from Sticker. That one had to connect. Maiden left in a 2 versus 1.
2 HP as well. Finds 2 fins on the side. So yeah, it's not going to work out for GODSENT. But there was definitely a case to be made there. As you said, that bit of a standstill, the deadlock that nobody was willing to break initially. GODSENT just eventually feeling the pressure of needing to get the bomb plant down. That's going to be where ENCE pounds and actually bring it back. So sitting at 6 rounds, 2 in a row. And the economy of GODSENT, as we mentioned earlier, not really keeping up to par here. So they're going to have to go on pistols. Gives the Finns an opportunity to get back into the swing of things.
Let's have a look. Desert Eagles, Glocks, PD-50s, all that sort of stuff coming through. And just across towards outside. Very defensive position from Alu, understandably, up against these pistols. Doesn't want to give a rifle away. You can spot the shadow from main entrance as Ariel confirms. Shouldn't be any danger of giving much more than a kill away here.
All right, well, Alu's taking a lot of damage without finding any kills. Ariel's still waiting.
He wants to go. Look how silly shadow. If you're not aware, you can't see your own shadows in the Source engine. So we've had this for about 10 years, unfortunately. Like it's something I even asked Valve if they could fix. It's like the engine's not capable of showing your own shadows, unfortunately. So
that's pretty wild, actually.
Yeah, I brought this up when we were first flown out to Seattle to play CSGO the first time. I said to them, like, one of the most annoying things about Source is like shadows are such a massive part of the game. You can't see your own ones. You have no idea what your shadow is actually leading towards. And they're like, yeah, well, we'd love to put it in. It's just not really possible, unfortunately.
But that was back in the alpha as well.
Yeah, that was 2011 we got flown out there. So a long, long time ago.
That technology just wasn't there.
It wasn't there. It's still not, apparently. A long time ago.
Yeah, maybe by 2025 we'll be there.
Yeah, your own shadows in a game. Crazy.
Quite the concept.
Sticko now just trying to bleed out any utility. They can use a bit of a timeout as well. They can chat to each other, just work out what's going to be happening into the next round. 13-6. It's going to be taking the pace off as well.
Assuming he is, like, has he crashed? Because he's not really moving to die here.
True.
Which is a bit of an issue, obviously. So yeah, this is looking like Sticko might have had a bit of an oopsie. Because he's definitely not doing this on purpose. There's no reason or rhyme for him to hold on to his weapon in that kind of scenario, because he hasn't picked up any sort of rifle. So I would expect a pause, and there we see Sticko departs the server. Had a bit of an issue yesterday as well versus Na'Vi towards the end of it. Hopefully it's not going to be a too severe one. As we see the odds coming in from GD.bet, gap has been closed a little bit on the side of ENCE, now sitting at 4.23 to the 1.2 of GODSENT. Still a long road to go. But as you said, it's the CT side of Nuke.
Yep, and anything can happen here.
Yeah, not completely out of the question.
Inferno next, overpass if required.
Yeah.
Final matchup of the day here.
We haven't seen too much Inferno, have we?
No, not really. So it's going to be guaranteed here at least. It's normally the third map. We've had a lot of 2-0s this tournament. So, technical issue. We'll see whether I can get it back online very quickly. We haven't had many tech issues here, to be honest.
No.
It's been pretty clean tournaments. The benefit of not having a stage sort of environment or a tournament area at these sort of events. Everyone's got their own kind of isolated practice rooms they can stay within. For group stages, I think that's the best format, especially when you've got to get through 4 best of 3 today.
Exactly.
That really can throw a spanner in the works if you just have to move everyone around, and then the tech pauses come through as well. This has been a very clean tournament, I have to say.
Absolutely. I think the only kind of sinner in all of this has been Sticko.
Yeah, that's it. We had a Steam issue yesterday where the servers went down.
I guess, you can't really fault that on Sticko, can you?
No, exactly. Yeah, Sticko, he's done a lot wrong today, but that one...
Sticko, fix Steam, please.
No, I just really like Sticko. I think like he's under the radar. He's a super secure player, like in terms of like
glue guy.
Yeah, he's always going to find you one kill. Like he's always going to make the right decisions. Like he's not going to be lighting up the scoreboard or anything like that. But you can put him in anchor positions, and he'll always do well in them.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot about it. I haven't seen him for a while. He was also in Mouse Sports, and he kind of just dropped off for a while, really. Didn't he? Kind of a name we didn't see in the forefront of CS. For a long time, I guess, similar to Mark-Lely, but not as long. Crystal never really made it to that sort of level, but still a player that's been around a long time. Yeah,
I think for Sticko, it's the fact that he plays, as you kind of alluded to as well, with him being the ramp player, for example, on a CT side Nuke. He doesn't play the spotlight positions. He's rarely the guy who's been put into the limelight. So as serviceable of a player as he is and how vital he can be for teams to just have them function, he's not going to be jumping off the page as a free agent. So if you're, or coming into CS and you're looking to get some real, home runs and get the big names, Stico's probably not going to be on that list, even though he probably should be if you want a functional team. I mean, we can look back at what happened with Mouse Sports, obviously, when they did replace him with Snacks. That didn't necessarily become the greatest of adventures.
End of the spectrum, really, in terms of player style, right? Like, you got Sticko, who's quite passive and just holds his positions, plays his role. And you got Snacks, who's quite erratic, going for the big plays and clutches and trying to be the star player. Like, that was such a bizarre move, and obviously one that didn't work out.
This is one of the cases where it's not as obvious as obviously ditch your in-game leader to get more firepower. He is a bit. I guess you remove the glue guy.
He was just undervalued at that point. I felt like they didn't realize how difficult that role is and how thankless it is. Like we said about Ramp, like he's playing all those roles and anchoring bomb sites and not having the flashes role, but it's a position that no one really wants. You know, like it's not the one. You don't want to be sat at B bomb side Mirage. You don't want to be sat on Ramp on Nuke. You know, these are difficult spots, and he always plays them like he's inside on Train, for example, as well. It's always getting it done.
Absolutely. This is quite something, right? We can have moving water in the Source engine, but we can't have our own shadows.
That's not bad, actually. I didn't realize it looked so picturesque over there.
I actually didn't know that water moved. To be fair, I've never really been out there for
an excursion, see what's going on.
Haven't really done a whole lot of that. There's no smokes you can throw from that place,
That's true.
So, but yeah, moving water, but no shadows.
There's Crystal, ready to get back into the action. He's just listening to the orders coming through now.
Yeah, he's been around for CSGO for quite some time, but obviously he played Source as well, but he didn't really have his...
He wasn't a massive name within Source. He was just like one of those dudes I played against a lot, but he's always like in online games. I never played against him on LAN too much.
Yeah, and he really just made his mark, I guess, within CSS more or less at the last tournament that we had in CSS, Copenhagen Games, right?
Yeah, I think that's dead
Alternate attacks lineup.
I played against him a lot online. I don't think I ever played him on LAN, though.
Yeah, because they pretty much just came on. Yeah, they really just had their peak form when everything started to die out.
Yeah, when the game was just dying, that's when there was like a couple of UK teams left and like some German teams. That was about it. I think some Danes were left over. But the game was pretty much done.
Yeah, everyone was ready for like the announcement of CSGO.
All Source players are ready to move over. Like there's a 1.6 community that put up a bit of resistance.
Yeah, I will say though that finals between Rattlesnake's team and
that's the one I was thinking of.
Mouse Sports and Alternate Attacks, but it was the UK Mouse Sports. I want to say.
Yeah, it was like Rattlesnake, MX, Husey, PT, and I think Stinger.
Last time probably would have been in that lineup.
Yeah, I think he was still in that. So that was like the last maybe the only UK team that was any relevancy within the top end of CS. That was the very beginning, but they were a very good team, I think.
Absolutely.
Forgotten, unfortunately, but they were very good.
Second best in the world, and probably the first team that should have beaten if not NIP.
They would like that kind of pedigree of UK players, they all kind of quit when I did. Like, we were all quite old. Like, I'm 31, and they're the same age. So the players that were really kind of distinguished from being like kind of from tier 2 to tier 1, the players that could form a great team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was just no money in CSGO when we first started. Like, your paychecks were like €200 a month. There was just no way you could ever justify committing your whole life to it when you just finish your studies or you got a full-time job. There was just no justification there. And I guess some of the 1.6 players came from more established orgs and actually had paychecks that could, like, even NIP were probably paying like €1,000 a month then, but even that was enough to live on, Yeah. It was something.
If you're not doing much outside of just staying in your room and practicing, then you don't really have the biggest of expenses.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, we're back into it. Stiko's managed to find his way back on the server. He's also going to have money to get an AK. No utility, but can at least do some damage here.
Well then. I feel like ENCE are going to at least break double digits here.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they've stabilized it just at the last moment.
A lot of it could come down to this round, obviously. They will have enough money to rebuy if they were to lose this one, but just constantly hitting that brick wall, as they've done so many times in this game already, might be a little bit too much to handle for them. And you were talking about it before the game started. It feels like ENCE kind of just hits some sort of a mental block in parts of their game, and obviously just constantly getting hit in the face is not going to help you with that.
Definitely not.
X7 boosted up on ramp. That's a position that's pretty tough to check, but he actually doesn't connect on the first bullet, and that's actually it's going to allow for him to get an even trade. Ollie does a good job, though, of getting back the advantage.
Yeah, that was a much-needed kill there. A little bit disappointing the MP. They can actually wait a couple of seconds sometimes, but they won't necessarily be expecting aerial here, but still only one for him. So there is a chance of the bomb down. I didn't even realize the plan was coming through. Allo in a prime position to deny everything here, though, but Zen is just a beast, taking down his fellow countryman there towards the ramp room. Clinical headshot.
Does he get into hiding as well?
I think he
does. Makes it back into silo. That makes it so much worse for Sergey to deal with.
He's got to smoke at least.
Yeah.
So he can bait out, he can smoke the bomb, tap it, bait one of them out. But that's about it with the kind of position the bomb right now. Zen will start to be a little bit more inquisitive and close things out as well. That was a huge round to pick up, and it didn't look good for them. And Zen, with low HP, ends up getting 3 kills in total. Shatters the finances. It's still a decent buy there overall. I feel like I maybe overstepped the mark there. It was still like 4.5 to 5K.
Yeah.
So they've still got the AWP and the M4s, but this will be the round. This will be the one that breaks their back if they give this one up.
Yeah.
In more ways than one, not only will it be map
point.
points, it will be money broken as well. And this is their pick as well, bear in mind. ENCE chose to play Nuke. Can still bring it back, but it has to be perfection from this point.
Yeah, perfection has not really been synonymous with ENCE as of late.
Yeah, and you got Allo down there, 9 kills. Like I said, not an AWP's map, but still plenty of time to bring it back, I suppose, if you can start coming online now and just shutting down the outside position. He got them one of their few rounds in the first half individually.
A tactical timeout was used as well. You'd assume that's ENCE talking things over, knowing how much this round actually means. Can they actually bring this back? As you said, the buy is going to be serviceable for sure. A couple of nades here and there that's slacking, but at least they have the rifles to go up more or less toe-to-toe with GODSENT. There's a Galila in play on Crystal. We'll see, though, what the approach is. Galila leading the charge out in yard. Actually going to boost up as well. He does have the Krieg in hand. The only player, actually, to have a Krieg. He's going to take the duel versus Alu. He does. But is not fully successful with it. So Alu down to half HP, but he's going to be more than happy with the opening frag.
Yeah, that's a big one to take. It's going to slow the pace of the round right down there. That's Michael removed early on. And here they go, though. That's actually a really nice position for Alu. He's fine to stay alive at this point. Maybe even another kill coming up. Oh my God.
How does he get the transfer?
I don't know, but it's all falling apart like a house of cards here. We are going to have a 3-on-2, Sergey and Sunny. It looked like almost a 5-on-3 at one point, and all of a sudden these kills just fly through, and it's a 3-on-2. Blink and you miss it. Less than a minute on the clock. Sunny currently sat on 12 kills, 15 deaths. And he doesn't look himself right now. That's not a Sunny peak I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like normally, like has a bit of flair in his movement, kind of it surprises you. He kind
quick
of just walks into
shoulder,
the angle, right? Didn't
two bullets into the face.
The game is right now, jiggle peek, wide swing. Like he just walked into the angle, certain death there.
Well, Sergey, you've got quite the task ahead of you. You don't have any nades this time. You had a smoke and a flash on the previous attempt. And, well, Sen is on equally low HP as last time, but he's got an extra teammate to fall back on. This is, I think you just have to save here. Like, what can you realistically do? You need to find 3 players with 15 seconds left.
Not happening.
It's not happening.
Well, there we go. 15-7. That's the round, and pretty much it's the GG here. ENCE did a good job to at least get themselves online somewhat, I suppose. But for now, they're going to have to buy. Of course, they need 8 in a row just to keep themselves alive here. We'll see whether this is going to be where they can do so. We get into round number 23. 5-7s, Desert Eagles, CZs, and they've got themselves 2 smokes, 4 flashbangs, 1 defuse kit, and a pretty much guaranteed Inferno coming up in about 5 minutes, I would say.
Yeah. I guess ENCE might be looking to get a bit of an extended break. Who knows?
Yeah.
They want to...
I think it's about dinner time, so yeah, you might be right.
So they need to talk a few things over. Ariel was able to be fairly efficient with the ZZ in the first half as well. Does good to at least start things off well for ENCE. Still a man advantage here, and they've managed to salvage 1 weapon. Well, I say that, but Alu falls. So 3v3, and all the advantages are lying with GODSENT here. Might go a little on top of Heaven. Just gonna actually just walk past the ENCE player below. That's X7. Stiko's already taken out Sergey, so should be pretty easy control over the upper bomb site once they just start to pinch on it. Michael wins out the duel versus Sunny as well. So X7 on 46 HP. Gets the surprise on Crystal, but position given up. Bomb's going to go down. And this is the beginning of the end, you'd have to imagine, for ENCE.
You might be right here, Alvor. As we look to find ourselves in a 2 versus 1, no kit situation. 22 HP, GODSENT looking pretty decent once again today, I have to say. A couple of rounds that fell against them, but it looks like this one's guaranteed. Michael Eddie to close things out. The map pick of ENCE falls against them. GODSENT 16-7 now, looking very confident. No one really going off, I guess. We had Zen having some amazing rounds, but it was a good team effort overall. No one like peaking above what we'd expect. Zen, we know he's one of the great fraggers of the squad. Maiden as well, like just looking like a comfortable, well-rounded unit. Once again, it wasn't an anomaly yesterday against Na'Vi. They could go deep in this tournament.
Yeah, they absolutely can. It's going to be exciting to see how they actually perform on their own map pick as well. It's the first time we're going to see them on Inferno.
Sure.
So that might, I guess give us more confidence in the team as well if they actually have a widened map pool. Then, yeah, you have to actually really look out for them.
Well, we've been casting for a while, so we're going to throw it to a break. We're going to have some food as well. I guess the players will as well. As you mentioned, maybe like a 10-minute break here. Maybe 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes down. We'll see for Inferno just after this. And we got an interview with ENCE in the meanwhile as well.
That's true.
So you can actually chow down on that while we go grab some food. We'll see you after this.